What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is Tuesday, the 11th of August, 2015. I'm not trying to make a habit out of this midweek Jericho reports, but the flare-up in Ferguson, I blame for this one, at least partially. As all of you know, it was the one-year anniversary of the Mike Brown killing, and the police shot and possibly killed someone else. Last I heard, he was in critical condition. But we'll get to that in a minute. As always, the first link below we take over to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all this madness. A week of madness indeed. Shots fired during Ferguson police shootout anniversary. This come out August 9 from Yahoo News. Now, this guy apparently was engaged in a firefight with someone on the other side of the street. Didn't have anything to do with the cops. Undercover cops in the crowd spotted the guy. I guess he opened fire on the cops when they spotted him, shooting through their actual vehicle window that they were in. And, you know, this guy is a known, unlike Mike Brown, this guy has just... He was already on probation for, or parole for weapons violation or something like that. All kinds of, his Facebook page, he's just gangster as can be. So I can't really call police state on this one. This guy was a known scumbag in the area. I got a bunch of links. Ferguson demonstrations. Authorities declare state of emergency in St. Louis County. I think that's going a little overboard. You know, people get shot and killed around here every night of the week. Just because this is on the anniversary of the Mike Brown thing, a state of emergency, I don't see it. I think they're overreacting. We got other news going on, though. Suspect in Nashville area theater attack had airsoft gun. You got another guy going into a movie theater. Maybe he was going to act a fool. Turns out he had an airsoft gun. You know, cops shot and killed him. You know, you point guns at cops and they kill you. Look, I don't feel anything for the guy. But this, I don't think, was a staged event because this did not work out for the gun agenda. I think he also had a hatchet and an airsoft gun. We're going to ban airsoft guns now? I don't know. I'll put a link to this from Nashville News Local. Long Beach man killed by police, stabbed 6, including his wife. So, once again, the gun is not the problem as it is the crazy person doing the killing. Are we going to ban knives because they're stabbing people? This from Eyewitness News. Other stuff going on. Dozens dead as 2 trains derail over India River. We got more train derailments and plane crashes. Look at this. Did you see this week? Pilot questions bin Laden plane crash, claiming something doesn't make sense. Apparently, the bin Laden family was killed in a plane crash. Or is that a cover story so they can go underground? Something going to happen in September? I don't know. But a lot of people are disappearing. I'll put this link here. Something doesn't make sense. Daily Mail puts this out. Department of Homeland Security issues terror alert after 3 drones are spotted in the skies above JFK Airport. Put a link to that. Not sure what's going on there. Bombs explode outside 2 churches in New Mexico. What's up with that? That come out August 2nd from Huffed Religion. Rhode Island mandates. We got vaccine news. Rhode Island mandates HPV vaccine for 7th graders. More forced vaccinations. That from the Washington Times. Look at this. Scientists sound alarm over supercharged genetically modified organisms which could spread in the wild and cause environmental disasters. I'm not making this up. Put a link to it. GMOs in the news. Meanwhile, Obama gets jump on Martha Vineyard's vacation. Well, he's working so hard making Iran deals and all this stuff, so he deserves a vacation, does he not? That from Yahoo News. Speaking of Obama, I got one last one in the general bin. Obama Stonewall SEAL Team 6 helicopter crash probe. Watchdog says, well, why wouldn't he? You know, what difference does it make, right? Over to financial news. How the Dow Jones did last week. Looks like Friday it was down 46 points. For the week, down 316. I'm not sure how it's doing this week. Sorry, this is a little bit delayed. It closed last week, though, at 17,373. We're heading towards 17,000 again. What's up with that? Zero Hedge has this. Americans not in the workforce rise to a record 93.8 million. Participation rate at 1977 level. Put a link to that. What's going on? This student debt relief program will cost taxpayers $39 billion. What? Put a link to this from Yahoo News. What's going on with that? The end of coal. Bankruptcy points to industry troubles. Well, that would certainly help the whatchamacallit, the global climate change agenda, the whole thing. More nuclear. I hear they're restarting a nuclear reactor in Japan. Did I hear that right? What? Apple stock implosion shreds 113.4 billion. Apple stock not doing too good, eh? Meanwhile, Keurig to cut 200 jobs in Vermont. Keurig, that's that single cup coffee machine, is it not? I think we got one of those here. Weird stuff. A couple more in the financial bin. Democrats defeat Senate effort to defund Planned Parenthood after it sells aborted babies. So I guess we're going to keep Planned Parenthood funded. Meanwhile, IRS's Lois Lerner called conservatives a-holes in emails. Hey, Lois Lerner, you ever see that Star Trek movie where they had to come to Earth and get the whales and find the nuclear vessels and all that, transparent aluminum, that thing? What did Captain Kirk say when they were trying to get through traffic? Double dumbass on you. Over to New World Order Police State News. Deputy handcuffs 2 third graders with disabilities. You got to pull this link up from We Are Change. Check out that video. Boy, I bet he feels like a big man. And he handcuffed the kid behind his back at the elbows. What the frick is wrong with law enforcement? Ugh. The Free Thought Project has this crazed cop stalks man, then pulls gun on him for filming on his own front lawn. This is the cop. You got to pull this up and check it out too. This is the guy that actually asked the guy, what are you, some kind of constitutionalist crazy guy? Hey, officer, did you not swear an oath to the Constitution? I'm just wondering. Definitely pull it up and check that out. Make that one viral. Baltimore cops call in federal agents to help homicide cops deal with spike in violence. Federalization of the police force as much? That from Fox News. We Are Change has another one here. Suspended cops say, now look at this. Here you go. Suspended cops say video of them eating marijuana edibles during raid violated their privacy. You're eating marijuana edibles during a raid, and there's a video of you doing it, and it violates your privacy. Oh, okay. Put a link to that. Los Angeles Times reports LA City Council backs new rules for gun storage in the home. Gun storage in the home. New rules. Something about the gun not being loaded and all this. How can they tell you what you can and cannot do with your gun in your own home? This is freaking ridiculous. InfoWars says, showdown. State reps rally to stop VA-ordered gun confiscation from Vietnam veteran. Right on. Put a link to that. Hope everything works out with that. They're steadily trying to, read the MAKAElectric report. Study says audiences want metal detectors at theaters but won't pay extra. Metal detectors at theaters. Why don't you just make it a not gun-free zone? Put a link to that from Yahoo News. Doesn't make any sense. Yankee fans sharing fingerprints will gain faster stadium access. Yankee fans sharing their fingerprints will gain faster stadium access. See what's happening here? We told you a long time ago the people will demand that you do this. Breitbart puts this out. Illegal alien crime accounts for 30% of murders in many states. I heard somebody else was beaten and raped out in California or somewhere by another illegal alien. Meanwhile, California, speaking of California, City Council appoints 2 illegal immigrants as commissioners. 2 illegal immigrants as commissioners. This doesn't make sense. How is that even legal? They're illegal. What? Over to World War III news. The Durka is preparing to attack India, says report that from the Times of India on the 29th of July. Meanwhile, CNN says Al-Qaeda branch calls for new attacks against the United States. August 5, 2015. Still don't rule out the possibility of Jericho blackjack this year, especially with Jade Helm wrap it up and stuff. Watch September, man. A lot of stuff going on. There's a video over my favorites. Check that out. Just all kinds of craziness. Obama just authorized war with Syria. World War III? Question mark. Well, who do we nuke in Syria after the United States gets nuked? I'm just saying. I'm always looking out for that event. You guys know that. Put a link to that. Meanwhile, U.S. starts armed drone flights from Turkey over Syria. Manned aircraft next. Question mark. That from the Japan Times. We got Iran. Didn't we just make a deal with Iran? Look at this. Iran warns of Third World War. August 5, 2015. They're just steady running their mouth. Meanwhile, Obama warns U.S. Jews Israel will bear the brunt if nuke deal is nixed. This August 5, 2015. Is that still, are they still trying to debate the nuke deal? I haven't seen the recent stuff on that. Russia formally stakes claim to North Pole. What? Okay. Meanwhile, one more from CNN. North Korea. Look at this. Lil Kim's feeling left out, you see. North Korea sets clocks back 30 minutes, creating its own time zone. Okay, well, I hope you realize that the rest of the world does not have to acknowledge your own time zone there, Lil Kim. I realize you're so ronery and everything. Over to Earth Changes in 2012 news now. Looks like we got a 6.6 quake out of the Solomon Islands on the 10th. Back on the 29th, 6.3 out of Alaska. I think this is a bit delayed. I'll put a link to USGS. Big quakes on the left, small quakes on the right. A lot of 4-pointers, 3-pointers all around the world. Japan just had a 4.7 on the 11th. Put a link to the USGS data. Look at this. Heat and drought cook fish alive in Pacific Northwest. Wouldn't have anything to do with the Fukushima radiation or anything, would it? That from USA Today. Cooks fish alive. BBC News reports typhoon hits China after sweeping across Japan. I heard some people got killed in, across Taiwan. Heard some people got killed in Taiwan. Meanwhile, be advised, my friends in Hawaii, hurricane headed right at you. I'll put a link to the latest data on that from Hawaii News Now. Massive sinkhole opens in Brooklyn. Man, look at that mess. I would hate to work for public works in New York, like underground, plumbing and gas and electric. I mean, anytime you have something like this, just pull it up, look at the picture, pipes hanging all over the place. That's got to be a mess to fix all that. Who fines the EPA when they make a mistake? The EPA is always there to fine someone when they're dumping illegally and all this. EPA spills 1 million gallons of mine waste, turns river in Colorado orange. I thought I heard it was like 11 million gallons. It keeps changing, but it's like a lot worse than they initially reported. So the EPA has destroyed the Colorado River and everything like downstream. Who is fined for this? Are they going to fine themselves? They're just going to be, shit happens. Is that what they're, I'll put a link to RT. What a mess. NASA camera shows moon crossing the Earth. Could you possibly be a little more photoshopped? NASA, I don't believe this for a second. Check out the video from CNN. It couldn't look more photoshopped. Did NASA's Curiosity rover take a picture of a lady on Mars? Question mark? I don't know. Pull it up. Check out the stuff they got there. Over to strange and bizarre news. Strange news this week. 2 men accused of using Taco Bell as a meth lab. That come out August 5 from the San Francisco Gate. Meanwhile, suspected meth lab explodes in U.S. government building. I'm not making this up. U.S. government building meth lab. Weaponized weed triggering nude and psychiatric rampage in New York City. I don't know. That August 4, 2015. Weaponized weed. U.S. Coast Guard loses 4,000 pounds of cocaine in successful raid on drug smuggling sub. Apparently, they're saying the cocaine sank. Sure it did. Well, I know the Show Me Baby did not steal your cocaine. I can tell you that. Got a couple more here. We got police say man shot neighbor in the face and ran over her with the lawnmower. Okay, bath salts much? That local news out of somewhere. Meanwhile, alleged criminal caught on camera trying to chew off his own fingerprints. They'll never identify me if I just chew off my fingerprints. Authorities say woman who tried to steal plane didn't have any flight experience. Apparently somebody got into an airport trying to take off with a plane. I guess she thought it was a car. I drive a plane. I don't know. Put a link to that. I got one more in the Strange and Bizarre bin. Lenny Kravitz apparently had a wardrobe malfunction worse than Janet Jackson's. Lenny Kravitz's penis totally fell out for everyone to see when his trousers split mid-concert. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. I have favorited quite a few videos over the past week. I haven't been putting out too many videos, but I do keep the favorites updated with stuff that I think is important. Definitely pull it up, scan over the titles, see if there's anything over there you don't know about. Got some shout-outs this week. Shout out to the Lexus Hoverboard. Remember Back to the Future 2? Apparently we have a real working hoverboard, not for sale to the public, but check out their video on that. Very cool. Shout out to Netflix. Netflix did really something cool here recently. They announced a new unlimited maternity and paternity leave program. Basically, if one of their employees has a kid, mom and dad both have the option to stay off of work for up to a year. Up to a year paid leave. I thought that was really cool, man. And shout out to Montagraph. You got to pull this video up and check it out. White House busted changing the verbiage of the Second Amendment. What was it that Common Core book said? The Second Amendment gives certain people the right to have guns for hunting or something like that. It's something along those lines. And it's actually the White House website. Check out his video, the verbiage on the Second Amendment. They're constantly trying to redo things, rewrite the Constitution, and, maybe they do it in little increments people don't notice. Bullshit, we always notice. That's all I got, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the report, or thumbs down if you think it sucked. This is the worst of YouTube. You never want to see again. And please rate, though. It helps move around. I do appreciate it. You can also follow me on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter for live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts. Always posted over there when they're up. Again, sorry for the delay. Sorry for not putting out a lot of videos. This whole Ferguson thing. People have been hanging out with me on my live stream all night, watching the events in Ferguson. Thank you to the people who are live streaming in Ferguson, providing us those feeds so that we don't have to rely on the mainstream media. The live streamers, I cannot praise you enough for being there on the ground and sending us those video feeds. Like I say, I think the last I heard, this guy was in a critical but stable or unstable condition at Barnes Hospital, and he is a known, you could just Google it. He is very well known to the police. Several felony convictions, and weapons charges, and stolen guns and stolen cars. So it's not at all like the Mike Brown situation. We could debate whether Mike Brown was a thug or not, you know, whatever. But this guy, there's not going to be a protest for him because, you know, one less thug on the streets, in my opinion. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, guys. I will try to get back on some sort of regular schedule. It's just been hard. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. You know, this Ferguson thing kind of threw me off a little bit. But, you know, thank you to everybody who's been hanging out with me on the live feed. It has definitely been exciting times. And like I say, I will try to get back on regular schedule, but that's all I got for now. You guys take care, stay safe, have a good rest of the week. I will see you on the next one.